Hello, my name is Alex Hilton-Slee and I graduated from Uclan in 2021 with a first class honours degree in sports coaching and performance. Since Uclan, I've managed to secure a role as a lead goalkeeper coach with Fylde Women. I'm also a coach for the under 15 boys at Fylde Academy, and during the day I go into schools teaching young kids sports as a PE teacher would do, as part of the AFC Fylde Community Foundation. Some qualities that I need for this role, for all three roles really, I need to be adaptable. You never know what you're going to face when you're in there. So yeah, definitely need to be adaptable, trustworthy. Obviously, when I go into the schools, even though I'm in a secure setting, I need to be trusted. Punctual, be on time always. Not just be on time, but I think be early. There's nothing worse than arriving to a session 5 minutes before, having to throw your corns out, do your setup, and then the players are there stood around waiting to get going. So I always try and get there about half an hour, 20 minutes early to do my setup. So being punctual is definitely important. Preparation as well, being prepared, so having your session plans done in advance, knowing what you're going to be doing in the session, knowing what's next in the session, knowing where you're going, always important. And people skills, at the end of the day, as a coach, you're dealing with people all day long. Whilst in the game, some players can get seen as products. For me, they're very much people. And, while you are coaching players in a sport, you're also coaching a person, and they have emotions, they have feelings. And I think as part of being a goalkeeper coach, I have much more of a one-to-one relationship with the player than I would do when I'm coaching outfield players, because obviously at times you can have 16 to 20 of those at one time in a training session. So I prefer the goalkeeping role personally, because I get that emotional intelligence with my players, similar to, I imagine, what a tennis coach would be like. You're coaching much more on a one-to-one basis rather than a big group. So I find they're the qualities that I need to really do my role to the best of my abilities. As I say, I graduated from Uclan in 2021. So a few of my highlights from Uclan would be definitely the tutors. Stuart and Sean were my tutors for the majority of my time at Uclan through year one. I had Sean in year one, actually, year two and year three. Stuart I met in year two, was a massive part of my time at Uclan. Got me through some really tough times, I think. And also Andy as well. Met Andy in year three. And, the knowledge that all three of them shared with me will stick with me forever. Part of my network now of coaches that I know, and also part of my network of coaches that I've grown while I was at Uclan. Stuart told me one time that my network is my currency in coaching, and I definitely believe that. I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for the people that I met at Uclan and the contacts that they shared with me and got me to where I am now. But my journey is very much just beginning, I know that, but I'm still very privileged and honoured to do the role that I do today. So highlights from my time at Uclan, I think one of my main highlights would be a learning lesson for me was in year one. We went on a trip to Wales and we did a team activity. Wasn't doing very well in the team activity. I struggle with losing. I'm very competitive as a person, and I don't like the taste of defeat. Wasn't doing particularly well, so had a bit of a temper tantrum. Threw my toys out the pram and left my team to it. Yeah, wasn't great. Afterwards, we had to review how it went, and I ended up apologising to my team, because obviously I felt guilty that I'd left them. I felt I'd let the team down, and that was really a learning curve for me. And it taught me a lot about who I am as a person and who I want to be as a person going forward. And I think that's really stuck with me and helped me become hopefully a better coach. Another highlight would be in year three. So going through year two, always thought I'm going to get a 2-1 here. I'm happy with a 2-1 here. If I get a 2-1, I'm good with that. I'm not an academic person, never been an academic person. So if I can get out of this with a degree at 2-1, I'll be happy with that. Coming through year 2, and I realised, you know, I'm actually on for a first here. I'm getting really good marks, getting high marks in all my lessons. Everything's going well. So I ended year 2 bang on for a first class degree. That's the way my marks were going. So my first assignment in year 3, COVID had hit. Everything's online. Getting used to doing lectures over Teams was difficult for me. I struggled with that. The screen was freezing. PowerPoints weren't up to where the teachers were, the lecturers were talking about. So that was difficult. Bit big-headed, didn't take the advice or help that was offered to me. And my first assignment came back as a 10. I got a 10 out of 100 for my first mark. It was almost like someone had just smacked me in the face with a brick, if I'm honest. Wasn't great. So I had to swallow my pride. At this point, I was ready for quitting. I couldn't do it. It wasn't for me. Can't do this over Teams. Not a fan of online. I'm going to quit, and I'm going to come back next year, and I'm going to finish this. Didn't happen. Spoke to Stuart, spoke to Cliff Olsen, who was head of that topic, and ended up redoing the assignment. Came out with the maximum you could get for a resit. Pushed on. Next assignment, got first. Okay, you know, we've reassessed the situation now. You know, we've gone back to basics almost. We're doing everything the way we did in year 2. We're working the same way. The only thing that's different is I'm not in a classroom with the rest of my peers, or I'm not sat in front of a lecturer. They're talking to me over a screen. And, you know, this was a reality check for me that I think I needed. I think if I didn't have that moment, I wouldn't have got first out of that year. I would have just carried on getting 2-1s or getting 2-2s, and I wouldn't have been standing here now with a first class honours degree from sports coaching and performance. So massive moment for me. Pushed on with that year, ended up getting a first in my dissertation, got a first in every topic bar one for obvious reasons, and you know, finished the year, got a first class degree, and you know, I will always look back to their moments, and they will really stay with me for a long time. So skills and experience then that I've learned from Uclan, probably being resilient, definitely resilient. You know, as I've spoken about, a lot of moments there were tough for me, were difficult for me, and I had to go through a lot in terms of picking myself off the floor, you know. With it being over Teams, I didn't have a teacher holding my hand or patting me on the back, you know, telling me, you know, it's going to be okay, keep pushing, you'll be fine. It was over a screen, a bit less impersonal for me. Not really a fan of that, as I've said, but I think definitely being resilient, also adaptable, adapting to different situations, being a people person as well, getting on with people, being polite and friendly, which is obviously expected all the time, but it's very important in coaching, because you might meet someone that you don't really like and you might not get on with them, but it's important that you do your best, and they always leave thinking you're a nice person, and because you never know down the line when you're going to meet them again. I think, I can't remember who it was, but a shooter once said to me, be nice to the people on the way up, because you're guaranteed to meet them on the way back down. And that's definitely something that sticks with me. So yeah, I'd say adaptable, resilient, just generally be a nice person, be punctual, be organised, and just give it everything you've got. Keep knocking on them doors, keep climbing up them stairs. Eventually the doors will open. Once them doors open, make the most of every opportunity you get. Don't be afraid to say yes to opportunities that come your way, no matter how big or how scary they may seem. Even small opportunities mean a lot, because they can always lead to big opportunities. But also don't be afraid to say no to opportunities as well. Like, not everything is right for you. Don't try and take on too much. And yeah, and enjoy it. We're doing something that we enjoy. So okay, so that sums up my time at Uclan. I hope that's answered the questions asked, and yeah, thank you very much.